Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. So I was so excited to do a Louis Vuitton pre-order unboxing for you. And well, it turned out to be a fail before I even actually saw the item in person. I still haven't seen the item in person. I've seen pictures. So what I'm gonna do is, you know what I thought? I thought I'm gonna make this into a fun story time video. I'm gonna put lots of pictures up because I sold 4 bags and I sold 2 pairs of shoes, and I was more than ready to get this bag, this pre-order item. And then it was like this total kick in the gut when I saw the pictures of when they were coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and start with telling you what the bag was. Then I'm going to tell you the whole story about selling my bags, where I sold them, that whole experience. And then I'm going to cut back to the bag again and say why I did not want the bag. Okay, so if that sounds interesting to you, let's get started. Okay, so the bag that I wanted to get it months ago, like 6 months ago. I saw it on the runway. It was so gorgeous. This is what they're calling the Lucky Trunk bag. It looks so beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. It's unique. I love unique pieces that have the monogram, my favorite thing on it. So it had the monogram, it had the black trim, no fuss, worry, or anything like that. And then it had these amazing gold platings on the side. And I thought that is just so up my alley. There's no way that that can be messed up. Like, I love that bag. And so I contacted my sales associate over in, Rodeo Drive, and told her when this bag comes out, please let me know. And she said, okay. And so, I don't know, like 6 months passed or so. And 2 weeks ago, she notified me that, yes, the bag is coming out and you can pre-order it. And I'm going, oh my gosh, okay. So I thought, all right, I want to get the bag, but I don't want to invest more money in more bags right now, because I thought I don't want to get too many bags, be one of those people, too many. And so what I did was I decided I'm going to sell 2 of my older bags and do kind of like a swap, And, but anyway, yes, I could have sold them on my YouTube channel and I could have gotten more money for it. But, I just don't want to deal with the hassle, the headache if something goes wrong. I can't, I've heard some nightmare stories. It's just not worth it for me. I'd rather just give it to the professionals to deal with, do a buyout and call it a day, right? So I decided to go with Fashionphile and Rebag because again, Rebag has had some problems too. I've heard, like losing bags and they're like, sorry, we lost it kind of situation. So I was planning a trip to go see my folks in San Diego that following weekend, which was just like last weekend. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make an appointment with Fashionphile in Carlsbad because that's their headquarters. And you can just you can make an appointment. And then once you make an appointment, you can just come in and they'll take your stuff, take a look at it in the back, authenticate it, the whole thing, give you a quote, and then you can decide if you're going to take it or not. So I decided I'm going to do that. So I made an appointment with them. And then I told them, how many items they wanted to know and that kind of thing. I said 6 items. They said, okay. Because I ended up, I'll tell you in a second. So then I got online quotes with Rebag in the meantime, because on the way home, when I leave for my parents, I'm going to be driving right by Rebag. So, in case Fashionphile doesn't come through, I can, Rebag is better, whatever, I can. So I had 2 options. The day came for us to go to Fashionphile. And again, it's in Carlsbad. It's like the headquarter one. And I took my mom with me to just kind of make a day of it, And so we got and I did end up getting 6 things to sell because I was going to just tell you, how like you get a couple things ready to sell and then you're like looking through your closet like, oh, I could probably get rid of this and that and that. So kind of was doing like a closet clean out. So I had 4 bags and 2 shoes. Okay, we go to Fashionphile. First of all, we're driving around in Carlsbad, we're getting, things telling us how to get there. And it's taking us like a little bit off from where the shops are and everything. And it's kind of like in like almost residential looking. I'm going, what is this, like someone's house or something? And we get through like kind of like some old office buildings. I'm like, okay, it's probably like junky, whatever, okay. And then we make a couple more turns and all of a sudden we see, bam, Fashionphile. Huge. I mean, we're talking monstrosity. All glass. The whole hill was Fashionphile. They had these huge letters, fashion file. It was completely gated. I mean, I was shocked. So we drive through the gate. There's a security guy in his little cart, little thing. And he said, "Oh, what's your name?" I told him my name. I have an appointment. And he checked the list. He's like, "Oh yeah, I see you on here. Okay, go ahead and go through and find a spot." So we park the car and I go up to the door. It's locked. There's a security guy on the other side. He lets me in and I go to the front counter. And by the way, it's a 2-story building and the whole floor was like all white, very modern, And I go to the counter and I told her I had an appointment and I have some things. And do you guys have like a cart or something that I can? And they said, "Oh yeah, we'll bring it out." So they brought out the cart and anyways, so we load up the cart, we go back in, and there's different areas to sit. And she's like, "Just sit wherever you want to sit." And it was kind of like a showroom too. It had a lot of Hermes bags and some Chanel on the wall and things like that. Not a huge display of stuff, like the upstairs, there was this really long railing and you could tell like that's probably where like everything is and all that. And so we ended up picking like a high stool table kind of thing. There was about 4 of those. And then there was also kind of like a couple living room settings, couches and things. But I decided let's go sit at the high stool thing. And we sat there and then they said, "So do you want to browse and look for anything that you might want to purchase while we're, checking your stuff?" They said we can bring an iPad out with, you can just pick out stuff. And so I said, "Well, I would love to, but that's kind of like what I'm trying not to do right now." That's why I'm here. So I said, "No, I'm not going to, buy more stuff no." So I said, "But, we'll just hang out." And as I was hanging out, we kind of witnessed, people coming in. This guy came in that wanted to sell his watch. He sat in one of the high tables by us. He gave them the watch for a quote. And in the meantime, he wanted to see some stuff. So they brought out the iPad and he's browsing through it and he saw something he wanted. It was another watch. And he said, "Okay, I want to see this." And so they were gone for like 10 minutes. And then they come out with like this tray. It was like a velvet tray, very fancy. And the watch was on there and they're like, "Here you go." And they said, "Okay, we're going to leave you to it. And, just let us know." And so he was like able to inspect it. They leave him alone and you can just look at it. Like how nice would that be, right? Like to live that close that you can do that. There was another couple behind me, I think another like mother-daughter duo. And she was looking at the Minnie Kelly. It was like in a pale pink. And she looked at that forever. I mean, she was agonizing over getting that or not. Eventually she decided no. But, it was just interesting to see how the whole process works. I didn't know it was like that. So it's very she. But anyways, getting back to what I was selling. Okay, so here we go. What I was selling. The first thing on the chopping block was my Chanel CC delivery tote. I'm going to put a picture up here so you remember which one it is. Now, I did use this bag. It had no wear on it. I mean, I was super careful with it. But I used it more as a briefcase because if you recall in one of my earlier videos, I said the chains, I'm worried because if I use the chains, it's going to scratch up all that acrylic or resin or whatever it is on top. And so I never did use it. So I feel like, I didn't get to use the full potential of the bag. And I just got tired of the bag. I don't know. I just thought, it looks kind of like outdated or it's too seasonal, whatever. And so anyways, I already knew what Rebag was offering me. And these guys ended up offering me $800 more than Rebag. So, and it was a very good offer. I mean, I was thinking if I had sold it through you guys on YouTube, it would have been like $200 more, So it really was like, okay, cool. If I can relieve myself of the headache, so, go for it. So they got that one. The next bag on the chopping block was my Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis World Tour. Now, before you completely freak out and think, what was I thinking? It's, discontinued and you can't get the black leather any other way, the trim. I had 2, if you recall. So the one I sold was the one with the sticker on the front. And I did sell that because I didn't like the sticker on the front. I like the sticker. And if I could, I wanted to put it behind the bag, but that option wasn't there. You had to put it in the front for that particular sticker. And I just thought, it's more of like a serious bag. It's not like a fun cutesy bag. I just didn't think it fit. Like I was okay with it at first, and then I got kind of tired of it. I didn't really like it anymore. And I remembered, I have the this one, the Palm Springs Mini with that sticker right there. And so I had the sticker on one of them, right? And also it's got the little, LV lipstick signature thing, which is super cute. But this is a cutesy bag, so it just works. But I just felt like it wasn't really working on the Pochette Matisse. And I had the other one, which is this one here, which I've been using. That's just got everything, the black trim, but it's blank in the front and it just looks really pretty when I wear it. Like I like it a lot. And then of course I have my little secret pictures on the back with my little doggy and all that. Like it's cute, the LV dog in the trunk and all that. And by the way, I'm so enjoying this. I wanted to show you how I kind of store it or how I'm kind of using it. So if you look inside, I have the things out right now, but I am loving my toiletry bag, 15, I think, and it's got that, beautiful pink lining, and I find it really cute. So I find that like if I put it in upside down, it just fits better in the bag because as you can see, just as a side note, just a little, it kind of expands up. And then when it closes, it just fits better if I put it in upside down, in the front here. It works out perfect. So I had my compact, a lipstick, and, just a couple little makeup things in there. Love it. It is so well worth it. But anyway, I had fun with that. And then, of course, I have this back part, which I've shown you before, which has this perfectly matched lining in here that matches the interior, and it's felt as well. The same material, and I put all my stuff in there, my wallet, car case, keys, and all that. So that works out nice. So I am really like loving this. So yeah, so I'm really happy that I decided to sell the Pochette Matisse. Fashion File offered me $95 more than Rebag. So they got the bag on that one. They got that one. Okay, let me gather my thoughts here. All right, so the next one that I decided to sell was my Gucci Neo Noe vintage bag. So I sold this one because first of all, I wasn't like that crazy about the yellow. It was okay, it's all right, it's cute and everything, but like I ended up getting another bag looking just like it. If you recall, it was this one here. Just recently I got it. This beauty here, same shape, same style, everything, but with the pink, fluorescent lining. And I just thought, I don't need the other one. It's just kind of like, eh. And plus the strap on the other one, for some reason, they didn't make them adjustable back then because I got that quite a few years ago. And so it was always too short. So I never used the strap that came with the Neo vintage bag. I would have to use another Gucci strap that was longer. So I just thought, you know what? I have this one. I don't need two of them. And I don't really use that one. So I ended up selling that. And that one, I got a great deal because I got that when it was under 1,000. Now it's like almost double, but I got it for like, gosh, I don't know, really like not much. And they offered me, actually Rebag offered me more than Fashion File. Rebag offered me $50 more and it was only like $100 less than what I paid for. So it was a complete like, yeah, for sure. And this is the other Gucci I have. This is the other reason why I thought I don't need the brown lining Neo Vintage because I have this one too with the brown lining, they're different enough and all that. And this one comes with the mismatched strap, So I thought, yeah, I don't need that vintage anymore. So yeah, I was happy to sell that one for, just a slight discount. That worked out really nice. Then I decided to sell my Gucci Dionysus mini bag. So this one I never used. This is the only bag I've never used. I was terrified to use it because it has suede. It had suede lining. I was terrified to use it because the sides were suede and the front parts of it were suede, and then the interior was all suede. So I was concerned, like, I just know, like, I'll just be walking somewhere. Like just the other day I was walking into a dressing room and walking down the hall, and I was walking under the air conditioning vent, and like a drop of water hit me on the shoulder. And I thought right away, I was like, what if that was that bag? Because I was thinking about that bag because I was about to go sell it. So Yeah, I could spray it. I didn't want to deal with spraying it and all that stuff. I just thought, it should go. And um, yeah, I was too concerned about it. So when I went to Fashion File, I already knew Rebag said no. They didn't even want to make an offer on it. So I told my mom, if they give me an offer for at least this certain amount, I'll take it. And they ended up coming back with that exact amount. So, so I ended up giving it to them. So I was doing really well. Out of the 4 bags, you know, they were gone, and 3 of them went to Fashion File. 1 went to Rebag. All right, so then I had 2 pairs of shoes. So I ended up selling my Chanel espadrilles that were kind of like pink, but more lavenderish. I could not match those with anything. I didn't know how to wear them. I never wore them. And then I ended up a little later, like maybe a year or 2 later, ended up getting these guys, which is much more up my alley with the pink. Like it's a true pink and it's got like the hot pink CC. And so I ended up getting those. And I thought, I just got to sell those other ones. Again, they were kind of more like on the lavender side. And so Rebag offered me $110 more than Fashion File. So Rebag got that. So, okay. And then I had 1 more pair of shoes, Christian Louboutin. So I was doing this like photo shoot thing, and I was wearing the shoes, and I've only worn them once. They were indoors, and I couldn't walk in them. And I thought, oh my gosh, I made a total boo-boo buying these shoes. This was another mistake. So I couldn't walk, and they were a little too big, and I was just dying. So anyways, I knew they wouldn't go for much because I looked online. They go for about $450 resale. So half of that is basically what I got. But Rebag said no, and Fashion File offered me like that, like half of it. So they ended up getting that. So yeah, so I did good though. I got all 6 items sold. And so on the way home, and so Fashion File, they keep all your stuff in the back. They come out with a quote, and you just check off the ones you say yes. The ones you say no to, then they come and you just wait a second, they come bring them out, and then off you go. So that's how that all works out, in case you're wondering how that works out. And then on the way home, when I left my parents, a couple of days later, I had already accepted the quotes on Rebag, knowing, that they were the better offer on my that neo vintage camera bag Gucci and the Chanel lavenderish pink shoes that I never wore. So on the way home, I just dropped them off. They checked it off. They looked at the items. So everything was verified, and there you go. And just about an hour, Fashion File already gave me the money. They transferred it to my account a few days ago. And Rebag, I just literally got it about an hour ago. And Rebag's interesting because if you just leave the money in the wallet on the Rebag app and don't transfer it into your bank account, it accrues interest like a bank account. I just called them to verify this. So if I leave it in the wallet for like a year and just don't use it, it'll go up another $400. So I'm like, I'll just leave it in there. So that's kind of interesting. I didn't know they did that. So that's just kind of like a little extra side note I learned from that. Okay, so there you go. That's my experience with the selling. It went really great. But anyway, here we go back to the lucky trunk bag. Okay, so here I am. I got like way more than enough money to get this bag. I texted my sales associate and said, okay, let's go ahead. When you get into work today, send me the invoice to pre-order this, and we'll go from there. She said, great, okay. So then she got in that day, and it just so happened the bag came in, like one of the bags, just came in, and she sent me a picture of it, and I about died. I'm going to insert the picture. So here is the picture of what you really get. So, all right, let me first show you again, just as a reminder, what it looked like on the runway, okay? Insanely cool. We love it. Beautiful bag. It looks like it's got this built-in structure. Okay, cool. Here is the picture of what you really get. And it was so funny because she just texted it to me and she put, it's very flat. What's the comment? I was dying. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. Because, for a second I thought, okay, let me just think for a second. Because the Speedy and the Neverfull come flat. We all know that. But then it expands into like a real bag that like has shape, So this was not that. I mean, this is more like a computer bag or something, like you put your laptop in. I was mortified. Then she sent another picture here where it just looks like, if you wear it, it's going to just like flop on you. because this is a long bag. It's like 15 inches long. And I could just see it like you're carrying it and it's just like flopping back and forth because, I mean, you know, how much stuff you're going to really put in it unless you stuff it with like a sweater, you know? So, oh my gosh, I was so disappointed. I mean, yeah, because so, you know, someone even, I put it on my Instagram and someone commented that it looks like, you know, like when you slap, you know, on the runway, it looks like when you do the hit on the pillow, the designers that make it look really cool, like it looks like that kind of look. And then when you get it, it's not going to be that way. And it's not going to be that way because there's no like preformed shape. So it's always going to look misshapen unless you have like perfectly symmetrical things on both sides of your bag, which no one does, right? And it's not going to look like the runway. You know, I just don't see how it could. And so I told her, okay, why don't you stuff it, you know, stuff it with something, send me a video of it, stuff. She's like, okay. So she sends the video. You could tell she kind of just probably put like a dust bag or something in there. And again, it just looks misshapen. It's like falling over. I was like, oh no. Let me go to the next issue that I have with it, okay? Because, well, let me back up a second because it was really funny. I was showing my son this and he said, I go, what is this, like a pancake purse? And he goes, this looks like what Jameson, my daughter, what Jameson likes at Costco, Mom. You know, those things she likes to eat. And I'm like, you mean the crepes? He said, yeah, the crepes. So here's a picture of the crepes. I mean, it was so like we were just like laughing about it because it is. It's like a crepe purse, you know, at this point. And but anyway, so that was like freaking me out completely. Then the other issue in the runway piece, there is no chain. In the real thing, looks like there's a chain. Now it is forgivable because it is detachable, so I could have gotten past this issue. But this is just another issue. Remember when I said on my Chanel bag, I couldn't use the handles because I was afraid it was going to scratch up all the acrylic? This is the same issue. If you look at the chain, it's hitting right on the gold plating and it also hits like right on that zip pull piece, you know, the attachment there. That would drive me crazy. So I would never be able to use the gold chain. I mean, I guess I could use it as a necklace, but you know, whatever. Okay. So that's another like design flaw. And then she sends me a picture of it in the showroom because I told her no, you know, forget it. And she shows me a picture in the showroom and it's like hanging for dear life, you know, on the wall or podium or whatever. It's got like, it's like strapped on. Of course it has to be strapped because of, you know, the lock. But I mean, it's got to have it anyway because, and it's like on this hook thing and it's like perfectly positioned so it doesn't fall over. So that's another issue. How is it going to stand up? You know, it's going to be like a floppy bag with these like two like rigid gold things, real thin. I mean, it was, I don't know what they were thinking, you know, I don't know what happened. It's like, I hate to say it was like a bait and switch, but I almost feel like that, even though I don't think that's the intent at all. But it was just so disappointing when it looks so different because then, you know, on the runway, they did the whole thing like that. And they must have had it stuffed like perfectly with like symmetrical and all this to make it have that, you know, fortune cookie, pretty shape and all that. And I was just like, oh no. So yeah. So that was a no-go for me. I mean, you know, there's other bags that are going to come through and I'll just wait. I want to be blown away, you know, and excited about something. So yeah, I'll just sit back and wait. But anyway, yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. If you got the bag, am I wrong? Did you love the bag? Or do you kind of feel like I do? So anyways, yeah, tell me what you think about it. And yeah, until next time, bye.